this is the downside to it. We would have to spend money to replace all of the speed limit signs. Eddie has been informed of the recommendation coming from Chief Losoya to get a firm count on how many speed limit signs we would need to replace. The cost of signs has increased. So if we do move that direction, I would like to structure it so we phase it, so that we don't overtax the department, and we may ask to contract to have someone just go and do it for us, because they would have to do it. Yeah, I told Eddie about it, and he's more than welcome to do it, but then he's like, do you know how many signs we have? So just a heads up, if we move that direction, I think it would be wonderful. It'd be great, because I don't know 30 to 20 half the time.
I don't even know it was different.
I don't want to get pulled over.
So if you go, you validate it, so around the elementary school, just because when we do the school zones around in the morning and the afternoons, Uvalde is actually 30 miles per hour. One street over on Eagle Pass, it's 20, and then Del Rio is 20, and then the next street over is 30, and so it's a little cockeyed.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't think my street even has a sign.
It does, because your neighbor called me one time.
I'm sure, I was probably speeding.
All right, Councilmember Sandate.
Like Gallego, it's 20, then it jumps to 25, and then it jumps to 20,
Yes.
and then to 20.
So back on Gallego, because of the community center was taking care of kids back then, and there was a major school, a bus was dropping off a lot of the kids that were in the after school program over at the community center. We had to drop the speed limit drop to 20, and before Martin took over, I did a traffic study, and I turned it into council requesting to change that back to 30. But yeah, we can just get one uniform speed limit throughout, and so my guys don't have to be guessing too on what speed.
Or the residents. Yeah.
Yes, and the residents, of course.
It'd be safer for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I think any suggestions you have, you're the professional in regards to stop signs. I think that's what we should do.
I think it's just my experience that I've been able to watch that community as it grows. So.
Thanks, Darrell.
Any other discussion?
I think some of that, where it's 20 here and all that, it's our fault that we don't go back and we change things. Like you're talking about on Del Rio, that was a daycare too.
Yes, it was
same as
Christian school.
Yeah, so same as the community center. So I think those things kind of need to be cleaned up after. I don't know whose responsibility it was or what, but I think we need to, if these schools close and all that, then change it back to the regular speed limit.
So I was
just letting them linger.
I was leaving Austin. I don't know if you all ever been on that road. It's 290 as you're leaving Austin. It's a little town, and they had all that construction and stuff. Well, I decided, I said, you know what, I might as well get some food. So I turned around and I went through a residential area, and you had these big speed bumps, probably like the size of Megan's desk. And it was flat. It wasn't hilly. It was flat. Well, kind of like plateaued. And they had the yellow flashing lights for some of the areas we need to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah, Conroe also does that.
And are
Conroe,
those
Texas
solar?
also has that.
Are those
Yes,
lights
solar.
solar?
Those are.
Stevens?
Who owns the action to write the change? I'm just following up kind of from Judy's comment earlier.
I don't know.
We
If
let that-
if we can do it.
I'm gonna have to take the action to go draft one, or GO, or.
I have it, I've added it to our tentative agenda for the next meeting to a resolution to add the stop signs.
Okay.
I would like us to probably game plan the speed limits,
Okay.
and so put that on the next one.
Okay, Councilmember Nance?
One last question. We have a possible $220,000 walkability biking text dot study coming in. Does any of this dovetail back in with that from that grant?
It definitely will. So this is the planning stage, and the items that we're looking at are specifically the sidewalks and connectability, especially with the schools. I know Darrell has visited with Marcy on that specifically, but it also included the safety and security features of like the hawk lights and different features that we could add to it. So once we have an engineered plan, we can apply for all the TxDOT grants that are available to move forward with them.
Okay, and I do also want to mention for everybody here and anybody who watches the YouTube video that these are city streets. TxDOT owns the
Exactly.
main
Yeah.
highways,
Yes.
and we cannot change the speed limits
Right.
on those.
And we can't add crosswalks to the
Yeah,
highways either.
I have residents contacting me all the time,
But there are
and
crosswalks on the
they
highway,
just
Darrell.
don't
Yeah,
understand.
but we can't do that.
Yeah, we can't do
Right.
the one-ways or 118 or the loop road, correct? Because those all belong to TxDOT.
223 and 118.
Yeah, so that's not under city control, I just wanna make sure everybody understands that. But we can control our streets, which is what we're talking about here.
There are 3 crosswalks on Highway 118 right now.
Those
Yes.
are added by the state,
They're
the state
state.
has to do that.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you, Darrell.
Yes, you're
Thank
welcome.
you, thank you.
And again, I welcome you all. If you need me to do a traffic study in your ward for areas, please let me know.
Okay,
I can
great,
attest, he does a great job.
good job. Okay.
You'll have to do a ride along with him.
That's okay.
Just not gonna actually.
No, I don't know, no comment.
All right, so